This ministry content is brought to you by the partners of Terrisavellefoy Ministries.
See, the best way to solve a problem is find someone who already has. So instead of looking at your goals and asking, how can I do this? Start asking, who can show me how to do this? It could be through their books, their courses, their conferences, or coaching. But see, when you find the right who, the how becomes easier. And the longer you wait, the slower you'll grow. Hey, I'm Terrisavellefoy, your cheerleader of dreams. Today I'm sharing with you my actual checklist that I use year after year to reach my goals. Remember, there's a difference in dreams and goals. Goals are simply dreams with deadlines. So if you want to live your dreams, you have to become a lifelong goal setter. In fact, most people don't reach their goals because they just don't know how to properly set them. Brian Tracy calls this the master skill for success. So every high achiever has a checklist. It's a system you follow and you will fast track your results when you simply follow the system. Well, I want you to get emotional about achieving your goals this year. In fact, listen to this true story I read recently. It was all about how one winter day in Biloxi, Mississippi, a 25-year-old woman decided to kill herself. True story. She couldn't take it anymore and she just wanted her life to be over. She went to a bridge over the Mississippi River, climbed over the railing, and threw herself over. She hit the water and started sinking. Well, out of nowhere, a man on the bank of the river saw her jump, and when he didn't see her surface, he jumped in to rescue her. Well, all of a sudden, she heard him dive in. And then she started to hear this poor man flailing around. When he jumped in, he'd forgotten, I don't know how to swim. Well, the article I was reading said this heroic idiot was splashing around screaming, help, help. So the woman who's trying to kill herself swam to him, pulled him onto the bank. He was choking. She gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Somebody called 911 and both were taken to the hospital. Both survived. Now, I heard this on an audiobook, and the journalist who wrote the article, he ended the story with these words. He said that night, it wasn't the man who saved her life. It was purpose that saved her life. Her purpose was to save the drowning man, and instantly she had a mission, and having a mission saved her own life. So what is your mission? Now, you might be thinking, Terry, I thought we were talking about goal setting and checklist. Well, let me explain. I want to help you get emotional about having your goals this year by turning it into a mission. So my first step today in the checklist that I want to mention, number one is hasten the mission. Now, I know that's a funny word, but my whole checklist starts with H, so hasten felt right. So I learned this from Patrick Bet-David. He said, for example, don't ever say just. Like, my goal is I just want a nicer apartment. I just want to pay off some debt. I just want to sell my house. I just want to get this student loan paid off. I just want to lose some weight. I want you to listen to how much more powerful it sounds to take out the word just. Just take that word out. I want a nicer apartment. I want to pay off debt. I want to sell my house. I want to get this student loan paid off. I want to lose weight. Doesn't it sound more confident? Like you really are a person of faith who expects God to favor you and help you achieve your goals? Okay, now we're going to change the whole entire attitude behind your goal with this statement. You ready? I want you to replace I want with I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to get a nicer apartment. I'm on a mission to be debt-free. I'm on a mission to sell this house. I'm on a mission to get the student loan paid off. I'm on a mission to lose weight and be in the best shape of my life. Doesn't that change things? It changes everything. Put I'm on a mission in the comments. See, when you're on a mission, you're not messing around anymore. You're not procrastinating. You're not just doing barely enough to get by. No, you just got obsessive. You just got aggressive. Now, let me add one more little tip. It's actually big. Add the word because at the end and give a compelling reason why you're on a mission to do this or have this. Because no matter what you put after because, the mission becomes more powerful. For example, I'm on a mission to get a nicer apartment. Because I know your environment shapes your thinking and I want my family in an atmosphere of success. Isn't that powerful? I'm on a mission to pay off debt because I know that debt is a curse and my days of living under the curse are over. And I want to be blessed to be a blessing. Okay, hasten the mission. Number 2 on the checklist is to have your goals in writing. See, once it's written, it becomes concrete and your chance of following through goes up 80%. That's huge. Well, even in the weight loss industry, they found that those who keep a food journal are more successful at losing weight and keeping it off than those who don't write what they eat. See, it's easy to overlook the candy stash at the office or the second trip to the buffet if we're not confronted with seeing it on paper. So they say, if you bite it, write it. Now, I have lots of videos on the power of writing your goals, so I'm just going to go through this one real quick. And I don't have time to go through each of the 10-step checklists, but I want you to have the entire list. It's your free download this week. So just click the link in the description and get this 10-step checklist, this framework I use to plan my year every year to achieve my goals year after year because it works. Okay, number 3 though, we call this handle the big rocks first. Now these are habits of high achievers. Let me explain. You know what, I think I forgot my calendar, but we can go get it. Okay, let me explain this part first. If you've never heard the analogy of the big rocks, first, basically, you have a clear jar, a glass jar like this. You've got sand, pebbles, and rocks. If you put the sand in first, then the pebbles, then the rocks, you can't fit everything in the jar. So what you do is you put the big rocks in first, then the pebbles, then the sand. Then the cool part is they say you can pour water, which is the spice of life. But the key is you've got to put the big stuff on your calendar first. So to do that, you must have a bird's eye view. This right here has been huge for me. I mean, it is huge, but this has been a huge tool for me, especially the past few years, to help me realistically reach my goals. It's just an old-fashioned calendar year at a glance. But believe it or not, this is one of the keys to running a successful business, living a successful life, and having a successful year. You know, Stephen Covey said, don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. But it's truly like a bird's eye view of your entire life in 12 months. And you start by writing your big things, the big rocks, the big events, birthdays, anniversaries, family vacations, holidays, commitments you've already made, conferences, you know, the Icing Women's Conference in Dallas, April 4th and 5th, Icing Paris, June 27 and 28. Those are the big rocks, right? Everything else fits around these. Then you look at your current responsibilities. For example, one of mine is filming this weekly YouTube video. So I plan 52 videos to be filmed 13 days of the year. But I also need about 13 to 26 days to prepare for these videos. So I block time for preparation of the videos. I do the same thing with conferences. Got it? Okay, you look at your big goals. And this is what I'm getting to. For example, if you have a goal to write a book, then you look at your big goals and you schedule time to write the book. You schedule time to write chapter 1. Look at your calendar and see where you have sufficient time to block and schedule time to do this. See, what gets scheduled gets done. What doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. So having this huge calendar will truly help you with one huge thing. Being realistic about what you can do. You know, Lou Holtz said, when all is said and done, more is said than done. But this is going to help you say no. You know, my assistant, Donna, she can look at my calendar and say, no, she can't do that interview. She's preparing that day or traveling. Warren Buffett said this is his key to success. His $50 billion key to success is this. He said, for every 100 great opportunities that are brought to me, I say no 99 times. Think about that. He didn't say for every opportunity. He said for every great opportunity, he says no 99 times. So you will have great opportunities brought your way, but you have to ask yourself, does saying yes to this support my top 10 goals for the year? If not, politely decline and say, I can't commit at this time, but let's look at it in the future. You know, Steve Jobs said success is determined by what you say no to. Well, John Maxwell, he was talking about how he tends to want to do everything. He said if one is good, four is better. He said, I love saying yes, and he has a hard time saying no. Well, as a result, he would get spread too thin. So to deal with that, he had to develop a system where requests had to go through a group who would decide whether or not he would accept a speaking engagement. He said, we call them the Hatchet Committee. He said, why? Because they put the axe to 90% of the requests that came in. How do they do that? By looking at his schedule. They see where his priorities are. And you know what? The man has written 100 books and sold over 40 million copies. So if you're going to have a successful year, you need to start your own Hatchet Committee. Okay, number 4 is hire a who. Hire a who. Now this is all in your download if you're trying to take notes. But Miles Monroe said the most frustrated person in the world is someone who has a dream or a goal, but doesn't know how to make it come to pass. So if you want to have a breakthrough year, you're going to have to shift from a how mentality to a who mentality. I've shared on other videos how last year I hired a lot of who's more than ever before in my life. I invested a lot of money to be mentored by people doing bigger things than me. It was a huge investment to help me grow, improve, increase. Well, we truly had the most phenomenal record-breaking year in the history of the ministry. They say the more you pay, the more you pay attention, right? Well, Lisa Nichols said, I had to realize I can't grow with people who are struggling like me. Here's the thing, what might take you 10 years to achieve could only take a few months with the right relationships, the right who's and mentors. It's not about having all the answers, but surrounding yourself with those who do. Benjamin Hardy said, if you want to be an entrepreneur, surround yourself with successful entrepreneurs, not aspiring ones. If you want to be healthy, surround yourself with people who are fit, not trying to get fit. Want to be wealthy? Go where abundance is the norm. See, the best way to solve a problem is find someone who already has. So instead of looking at your goals and asking, how can I do this? Start asking, who can show me how to do this? It could be through their books, their courses, their conferences, or coaching. But see, when you find the right who, the how becomes easier. And the longer you wait, the slower you'll grow. Jack Canfield said it like this, if you want to grow faster, hire a master. Okay, number 5 is harvest your dreams by sowing your seeds. Now this is a spiritual act. This is where you bring the super onto the natural and God does the supernatural. So my parents ingrained in me that if you have a need, sow a seed. My dad said, according to God's word, sowing and reaping is God's intended method of manifesting provision for every vision. Do you get that? See, it's through sowing seed that you take charge of your destiny. Proverbs 11:24 says, the world of the generous gets larger and larger, but the world of the stingy gets smaller and smaller. Both individuals are producing their own outcome. The sower is producing this outcome of increase. The non-sower is producing a destiny of poverty. So God said you can determine your own destiny by the seeds you sow. So I was at a roundtable event with John Maxwell last year, and he said every year I raise my standard of giving. Now this was at my mentorship with him. We're sitting at this table learning from him, and he said, don't miss this. And so we're all taking notes and we raised up. He said, you need to be passionate about something that isn't yours. He said the stabilizer for success is generosity. That's powerful. So every year we look at our dreams and goals, and immediately we sow where we want to go. I've never had a financial breakthrough without sowing a financial seed. Okay, so that's 5 areas of your checklist to fast track your results this year. It's a 10-step checklist that I want you to have. It's free. It's in your download. So just click the link in the description and get the free 10-step checklist today. And if you'll just go down this list, here it is right here, and apply it to your goals this year, you will be amazed by what God does by December 31st. And remember, I am cheering you on to live your dreams.
Join us for the Icing Women's Conference live experience in Dallas, Texas with terrisavellefoy. This is your time to grow in your relationship with God, gain the biblical tools you need to live your dreams, break free from limitations, and make 2025 your most extraordinary year yet. Join Terry and anointed guest speakers on April 4th through 5th for an unforgettable weekend that will inspire and empower you to step into your God-given purpose. Go to terry.com to register for the Icing Women's Conference today. We can't wait to see you in Dallas at Icing 2025.